Hey, crafty friends. Today I'm sharing something a little different from my usual. I put together this card making kit for my family and coworkers who have kids who are bored and stuck inside. And I know as a crafter, we all have a ton of supplies that we can pull together to create something similar. I'm showing all the items I used to put this kit together, and maybe this will inspire you to do the same. For the card making kit, I included enough supplies to create 2 cards. This can be sent through the mail using a 2-ounce stamp, which I believe is 70 cents. I have 2 envelopes and 2 card bases, which I pre-decorated. For the envelopes, I used Trinity Stamps Mr. Snail Mail stamp set. One I stamped out the images, and one I kept pretty simple with just a to and from. For the card base, I used a custom stamp that I received as a Christmas present, but this panda holding a letter image can be found in Gerda Steiner's lovely panda stamp set. So here I'm going through the die cuts I included in the kit. I used My Favorite Things city block for the skyscrapers and sidewalks. For the scenery die cuts, I used a few of LDR's creative sets called Here Comes the Sun, In a Cloudy Sky, By the Light of the Moon, and In the Grass. For the characters and sentiments, these all came from Love Cynthia's Your Super stamp set. I also included a piece of blue cardstock, and later I throw in a piece of black or dark blue cardstock. So I'm putting together the card scenes that can be created using this card making kit, and I'm just showing you my process of deciding how to get everything put together. I wanted to use a lot of the characters, but I ended up only using 3, and that's okay because I know that everyone has paper and markers at home, so even though they might not have the card bases and the envelopes, I'm sure they can find it around the house somewhere. I like how the die kit kind of includes 2 different moons and 2 different suns, so you can decide what you want to really do with it, and you can let the kids use their imagination to create the scene that they want. And I try to fit everything possible onto each of these cards, but I end up going with pretty simple cards. And I've been getting pictures of cards that were created using this, and kids have their own imagination, so they're totally different from what I created, of course, and I'm really enjoying those pictures. So I think a perk of sending this out gives a little brightness to the parents, and when they do create the card, they send pictures back, and you get that as a little perk for yourself too. So for the cards itself, I'm coloring super simply because I figured, kids don't blend, they don't shade. I couldn't help myself but to use at least 2 Copic colors, but I know that the kids are just, coloring whatever they want, whatever color they want. But I went with pretty normal colors and in a color scheme because I just couldn't help myself. But I did try to incorporate some blending. I show you the process, but feel free to do whatever you want. I think that this card making kit is just, items to use, but you aren't confined to normal colors or anything like that. And I've seen blue moons, I've seen red stars, so you can do whatever you want. I know that the kids will too, but I did want to include some examples in case you couldn't really imagine what you can create from this card kit. And I think that that's why the die cuts really work with this, because you can create and set a scene for either nighttime or daytime, and you can even add in some rainy days with just including the clouds alone. So the possibilities are endless. I went with simple coloring because I just wanted to use the same colors throughout the 2 cards so it's cohesive for my purposes. I will be sending these cards out to some of the kiddos as well, just for fun. I think that at this time, snail mail is kind of coming back, right? Like, you can't really go outside. You can get deliveries of groceries and you can get packages that you've ordered, but you don't really have that connection. I know that a lot of people are going and doing video calls and things like that. But I still think snail mail has a different feel, like when you get it, because it's so rare that you get snail mail that it's just something fun and new, and it's exciting now. Like before, when technology started and email started, it was so cool to get that ping that you got an email. But now for me, when I get snail mail, I'm so much happier, and especially if it's something that I didn't buy myself. And usually, snail mail is unexpected, so it's always a nice surprise for anyone who receives it. And maybe kids can start doing pen pals again. So it's just something that they can look forward to and wait, and you don't really know that snail mail is coming, so it's kind of cool. So I'm just coloring all these little images, and once the images are done, putting the card together is relatively simple because you have all the items that you could possibly need. So for me, I wanted to do that daytime scene and nighttime scene, and all you need is glue. You just glue everything together and it's ready to go. For the skyscrapers, I've seen rainbow colored skyscrapers. For me, I am pretty boring, so I just went with a simple gray shadow just to add a little dimension to it. And I do so using really light gray colors, which is COO and C1, and that creates enough dimension, I guess, especially against that black sky, that it stands out and looks pretty cool. I think this is the first time I've actually used this die cut, and it's perfect to take up a good portion of the scene and have enough space for the character to hang out. I think that I might be creating a second set of these card making kits because I think we've been extended for our social distancing and sheltering in place till the end of April. And that seems like a really long time because March for me has been a very long time. And I think that I might send out a second batch of these kits. The only issue is going to the post office. People are still going to the post office, which is kind of cool because either they're doing, online returns or they're actually sending snail mail. Hopefully the latter, but I think it's a lot of online returns. So to put everything together, I'm just using Connect glue, and it's really simple. And I know that every kid has Elmer's glue in their supplies because schools usually require it, or you have it yourself because there's all these little projects that kids can do with glue and tape and construction paper. So if anything, if they have leftover die cuts, they can create a second or third card with it. I put this together relatively quickly, and I forget how easy it is when everything is set up and ready to go. For me, I usually make one card at a time, but after having all these die cuts ready to go, this card or these two cards came together so quickly, and I hope that the kids really enjoyed it. It just, gives them something to do that's a little different, and the images are really cute too. So I might be creating a second card making kit. If you want to see it, let me know. I can put together a few more ideas so you can be inspired to create some of these kits for people that you know in your life. And I'm sure that we have tons of supplies that we can work with. So that's it for these two cards. I think that they came out well. It's super simple to put together, and I think that a kid could put this together once they finish coloring. They might not even color, but it looks cute and they can send it out to their friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little different, but it does include two completed cards. So hope you are inspired to do something similar. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.